What's up, you fools? Matt, ESC United, your favorite Eurovision channel. This is the ESC United expert panel where the team ESC United is reviewing all of the songs in the running, all 41 that are going to Tel Aviv, talk about them, provide our scores, and rank them at the very end. And you get to do the same, but more on that later. Let's focus on the song at hand, or the country. It is Spain's turn to be taken apart. I'm using that term lightly, just to review it, I guess. So Spain, for the second year in a row, at least as of late, was using Operacion Triunfo to select the act to go to Eurovision. So they had like a bunch of the finalists take part in a special dedicated Eurovision show, and then the voters and all the televoters were able to pick their favorite, and it was Miki with his song La Venda. La Venda ya cayó. Now, Miki actually didn't even win the show, Operacion Triunfo. I think he finished like in 7th, 6th place. I don't remember how far he made it. But his song apparently was the best one, therefore he won it all. Did he win us over? That is the question here. Let's talk about this. Connor, what do you think about La Venda?
So I will say that this song has grown on me quite a bit since it was selected. Keep in mind, it was the second song that we got right after Albania.
Yeah.
So it has had a lot of time to curate and to grow. I think what I mentioned when we did our kind of review of the entire Eurovision Gala afterwards, what I said was that La Venda kind of needed a bit of a rehaul, and either Spain listened to me or they just decided to do it anyway. But that's kind of what we got. We got that little mini vamp where not a ton really changed, but it kind of became a lot more modern and a lot more refined. But I feel like at the same time, I prefer the version that we got in the Eurovision Gala more so than I do the official version that they re-released. And I think that the reason why is that it got so much more mature. And Miki himself as an artist is a very young individual. So it sounds like they took this song and moved it as if like this is a song that he would release when he's like 25 or 26. He's been out on the market for a couple of years. It's not like super fun, I'm just here to party, kind of. It kind of lost that quality a little bit. And when I say it lost it, I'm not saying it's gone. I'm saying it went from a 10 and they dialed it back to about a 7.5. What they need to be really, really careful about is how they stage it. It worked really well what they did in the show because it was a tiny, small, circular stage. But when we get to Eurovision, we're talking about a massive arena. And they need to sell this song for 3 minutes on this massive stage. So if they get the staging right, and basically they pull it off exactly like they did, I think that we have a possible top 10 for Spain.
Ooh, look here, listen to that. Top 10 Spain. It's been a little while. I basically agree with what you're saying, Connor. The song initially was unapologetic fun, right? It was just party feel, and I really like that vibe as well. It's kind of almost sound like a hypocrite right now. Because I did also say it needs a little bit more refining there. It just needed cleaned up a little because the first one sounded not like that, but it was a little bit too messy to me. I said, well, they just need to clean up a few things here and there, and then it's great. I enjoyed it tremendously. And then they finally put forward the revamp, and I was also like, okay, they scaled it back. The brasses, the really loud, like, dun, 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 like that was not loud enough in the revamp. And that is really what gives me energy. That is the part that I just love the most. The trumpets, all of that, the trombones, whatever it was, that sound needed to be louder. That is where the energy comes from. And they scaled that back quite a bit in the revamp. That to me was disappointing. So I wanted to revamp, but I was going to say, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. That's not, I think they should have still kept the energy there and just cleaned it up a little, added a little bit more of a modern sound to it. That's all I wanted. So I'm on the fence with the revamp. I think it lost a little bit of the oomph that I wanted, but nevertheless, it's just a really fun party song, something we need at Eurovision. Is it the most sophisticated piece that's out there? No, but it's not trying to be, and it suits the singer and the staging. Yes, as Connor pointed out in the national final, was just fun. Let's jump around and have the people fake play, the instruments, which you can say they weren't even pretending; they were just holding them, and that will not work on the Eurovision stage, and I think they know that though. So I'm hopeful that they're going to come up with something a little bit more appropriate. Plus, in the national final, they weren't singing. The backup dancers would now have to sing to kind of support the chorus as well. So there's a lot of changes that need to come. How about you, Melanie?
Yeah, I'm on the same page with you guys about the revamp. It just lost a little bit of shine, I really love the song, I remember that every day I'm going on my bicycle with work and I start listening to the song and my day's already a party. But you guys say the revamp make it less better, but I'm thinking about Eurovision. People won't hear then the first version, so they will only listen to the revamp then. And from the first note, people will remember it. People will sing along. It's a song that will stuck. It still will be stuck in your head. And I really think that the energy that Mick is bringing in the song will be really great. I think a lot of people will sing along on the couch with it. I really think that it's a good song for Eurovision, and I really like the way Spain's going this year.
Yeah, feels very Spanish, that's for sure as well. How about you, Kelvin?
So the composition of the song is really not my thing. It just isn't the kind of music I really am drawn to usually, or the kind I listen to usually. But it has a couple of really, really strong selling points which keep me sort of on board and at least impressed, if nothing else. The first is what Matt was talking about, which is that I like that it's really kind of messy and that it just kind of throws all these ideas and you don't really know where to look. And I enjoy that a lot about it. I appreciate that. And I'm a little disappointed that that was kind of scaled back in the revamp. When the song won Operacion Triunfo, was like, don't revamp this because that will make this lose it, and I was right. But it's still there a little bit, and I will take it on faith that will come through again in the live performance, because the other real selling point for me is how much of a, just go for it, throw yourself into the song performer Miki is. He comes across, actually, unlike what Connor said, not as a really young upstart, but as someone who's kind of been honing their skills as a performer for a while, and the way that he expresses the distinction that he has as a performer is kind of as sort of a manic, energetic figure, and I appreciate that about the song a lot. So even though I am not a big fan of how it sounds in studio, there's enough when it gets to a live performance and when Miki is allowed to just run free and do what he wants that keep me on board. I enjoy this tentatively.
I like that little disclaimer there at the beginning.
Yeah.
So there you have it. These are our thoughts. Let's take a look at our scores and then show the entire team score at the very end as well. Connor, what's your score for La Venda?
So very much on trend with what I mentioned earlier. While yes, I am slightly disappointed in the revamp, and I think that it kind of got the traditional Albanian revamp treatment where it had a great song and then they did a revamp and we said, wait, what happened? I gave this an 8. And the reason why is the fact that there is not enough in the revamp for me to fault it to knock it down. I don't think that this is going to be another year where we're going to have a Spain in the bottom 5. I don't think that it's possible. And if it does happen again, I don't know what's wrong with the voting.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. I can echo what you said. Ultimately, I think I took like half a point off for the current revamp, but that could go up again in Tel Aviv. Otherwise, I completely agree with you. I gave it 7.5 as of right now, so pretty close to what you were giving it. How about you, Melanie?
I gave it a 9 because, as I said, I love the song. It's a bi-party song, and it's great that it's a party song that is really cheesy, and I'm just really love the song. I really like the party, and I'm just seeing everyone sing along on it in Tel Aviv. So yeah.
All right. Good score for Melanie. Go ahead, Calvin. What's yours?
So before I mention my score, I will say that it was going to be a little lower because of the revamp, but then I remembered that we are getting another live performance from Miki, and I have to consider that I'm here, that I didn't really think much of the original studio version either. So with the disclaimer attached that I'm going to need a performance as good and as energetic as at the national final, I ended up giving this a 7. But Spain, you can screw this up. Please don't.
I think that sums it up perfectly. So these are our 4 scores. Let's take them all away, put them again in a pot, and add all the other ones from our team at ESC United to come up with the overall final score. And here it is. The Spanish song, La Venda, is receiving 7.57 from us. So that is the overall score. You surprised about that, Calvin?
No,
or was that nope?
It sounds about right. It's a song that's received a pretty strong reception, and so it has a pretty strong score. No real surprise there. And I agree with y'all that if they don't mess it up and if they just kind of let Miki roam free, that I think that score could be reflective of how it places in Tel Aviv.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I will say as long as they restrain him slightly and we don't get like a Hungary situation from last year where he's just running straight across the stage for 3 minutes, I'm on board.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It needs to be, I mean, it is a TV show, so you can't just run off and do its own thing. He has to have, even if he just runs around like a circle, that's choreographed at Eurovision. So everything has to be, you have to be right in the shot of the camera. You cannot just be spontaneous. That's just not a thing at Eurovision that you can afford. So, but you can still, within those parameters, still kind of make it your own, whether it's your facial expressions or, you know, just the energy level or like your hand gestures, whatever it may be, you know. So I agree with you on that. So, but that's what you have. It's 7.57 for Spain. That's a really good score. If you want to see where Spain ends up overall in the ranking, there's a link in the description box along with a link to our poll where you can vote for in the poll and can give it 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 points as well. And then we compare your ranking to ours and see where there are discrepancies. Thank you for watching. We got to do another video, so we got to go. Talk to you later.